What really started my inspiration of being in high school band was my band director, Mr. Adam Myers. But too sad, you know, he kind of left my sophomore year, and he really pushed me and encouraged me to be in band and all that stuff. And I just really wanted to spread my passion for what he put on me.
So I played basketball my whole life, and around 10th grade, my knees started getting really bad. And I was like, hey, let's go do the band. It seems like it'd be pretty easy. So I went and I asked my band director, I was like, hey, you wanna let me join the band? He was like, sure, what do you wanna play? I was like, we have a senior graduating on baritone, so why don't I just play that? And then so I started playing that, and then around 10th grade, and then 11th grade, I actually ended up having to march tuba. And so I had to teach myself how to play that. And then 12th grade, I said, let's do something different. So I tried out for drum major.
Really, it was my brother. He inspired me. Seeing him playing the drums, doing all the tricks and stuff, that really what made me play the drums, like to play the drums.
It's the effectiveness of being a musician, listening and playing. I enjoy playing in a band. I enjoy teaching band. I love being able to teach what I know and to be able to be effective to other people through music.
Well, my 9th grade year in high school, we always marched in competitions here. And I remember the first time I saw the EMCC band, and I knew from that moment forward, I had to be in EMCC's band. And so ever since 9th grade, I've just been working my hardest.
My older brother was in the band and loved it. I always followed the band as a kid. I played ball as well and was in the band, so loved them both, but really just a love for music.
Basically, my dad used to work at Mississippi State, and me and my mom would always get season tickets for the basketball games, and we would go to every basketball game. And they had a little pet band that would go there, and every time I was always enthused by the band. I would always be happy when I would see the band coming, and when they weren't there, I was very disappointed because I would just be like, why isn't the band here? Band's I love the band. And so in 5th grade, when the middle school band directors came out to us and say, hey, we're having band auditions, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that there was an opportunity for me like that. And so when they came to me like that, I was like, this is my opportunity. And my parents, they were all for it because they knew how much I loved it.
I chose East Mississippi College because my brother used to go here and he used to play on the drum line here. And I got familiar with the campus and everything. So I knew where the whereabouts and everything around campus. So that's why I chose EMCC.
Going straight to a university right after high school and having all the responsibilities put on my shoulders at once was probably more than I could have handled. So I figured, hey, the closest community college that we have is EMCC. And of course, my dad had worked here for about 9-ish years after that. And so I knew some people, not personally, but I knew of them. And then as I came around on the campus, I started getting to know people, of course.
I came on a tour and they showed me around campus, and I went and met with Mr. King. And so we were talking about how I played baritone. And then he was like, oh, and I heard, I saw your band and you were the drum major, right? I was like, yes, sir. He was like, so you want to be drum major here? I was like, okay, yeah.
When I graduated college, my first teaching job was at Vanderbilt University. I was assistant band director there and director of jazz studies. Loved it. Big SEC, great crowds, great band. Just had a ball, and then just had a passion to come back to Mississippi. And so I came back, believe it or not, as a 6th grade band director, teaching 6th grade kids and just loving it, and watching that light bulb come on and their passion, and just really set me on fire. And then again, taught 14 years in public school and 6 through 12 band in high schools, and then came here, and I've been here 7 years.
Leaving high school, my first choice wasn't really coming to EMCC. It's like every senior, it's like their choice of I want to go to a university because that's where everything big happens. Because going to a community college, everybody thinks it's like, wow, community colleges are for people who just really don't care about themselves, or people who have low academic skills or anything like that. But I was one of those people, I'm not gonna lie. But then when I looked at the prices for going to a university and I saw EMCC, my sister, she came to EMCC and she was like, Kelly, it's not what you think. That's what I thought it was too, but when I came here, it was like this huge family of who I can get close to and express all my feelings towards, and they won't judge about you at all. And with EMCC being such a, I want to say family college, I mean, like, that's what it is basically, but with it being a family college, I feel like this is probably the best decision I ever made coming to EMCC, so yeah.
Well, I graduated high school in Hamilton, Alabama, and so I'm very much somewhat of a native here in the area. And when I graduated there, I was also a four-year member in the high school of the band, very active there. Was a leader in the band in high school. Then I went on to the community college, went to Itawamba Community College in Fulton, Mississippi, and completed 2 years there. Finished my time there and went on to the University of Southern Mississippi, where I completed my bachelor's of music performance. At that time, I decided to continue on in the music learning business, so to speak, and went to the University of Nebraska in Lincoln and received my master's degree in woodwind pedagogy, which basically means that I can teach 5 instruments versus just 1 instrument, and felt that I was a little bit more marketable to the colleges for hiring, that I could do that. From that point, I went from graduating with a master's degree to joining the military. Spent 4 years in the Army, played with the Continental Army band out in Fort Monroe, Virginia, and then did that for 3 years, and then spent a year as a saxophone instructor for the Armed Forces School of Music in Little Creek Amphibious Naval Base in Virginia. Once I completed 4 years of the Army, I decided to cross over to the Air Force and join the Heartland of America band, the Air Force band there, and it's just south of Omaha, Nebraska. Spent 4 years there as a musician, touring the country, and then went from there as a basic military training instructor at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. Spent 5 years as an instructor there, and then finished out my career in the Air Force at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. Retired in 2014, and then took the head director position at Iowa Western Community College. And finished there after about 4 years or so, and found an opportunity to come work back in my homeland, so to speak, here in Mississippi and Alabama area, and also work with a former college classmate of mine, with Chris King.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Chris King, I hope you're watching. Mr. Chris King, oh wow, he's like a second father to me. He's like another Mr. Byers, but he's like, chill. You know, he goes with the flow. He's a great man. He encourages me to be my best at all times.
He's the bomb.com. He's always upbeat, lively, happy. He does a very good job at portraying that to the band and keeping us positive. And he always assures us that he's not going to make us do anything that he wouldn't do himself. So it's just very welcoming and just all around good band director in person.
Mr. King. I love Mr. King. He's the best. He's awesome. He'll help you with anything. Cool.
My band director, Mr. Chris King. He's a character in one word. That could be taken however you want, but the one thing that he is not is bad. He is everything under the rainbow except any negative thing that you can think of. He is positive, he's funny, he's hyper a lot, which helps with most of us get energetic. He never makes a boring rehearsal.
He's a wonderful man. He's a good man. He's funny. He gets stuff done, but he has fun with it. He has fun with it, and I like that as a band director.
Wow, going from the assistant director to director, you don't think about it being that big a difference until you do it, and it is. It's one thing to be on staff, and it's another thing to be leading the staff. And but one of the first things I did, sat down with the president, and we decided, you know, what we wanted to do, the direction we wanted to go with the band. We liked where it was, we liked where it was going, but we wanted even more. And so we wanted to be out in the public more, and how we could be out in the public more, how we could get the band where people would see it more, not just at football games, but in the community, and not just performing in the community, but actually doing some community service for you know, area groups, and just really getting out there and letting people see who we are and what we do. Because again, if they don't know that, then you know they may not decide to come to EMCC.
It's always been my philosophy to kind of coin a phrase, ESPN, the entertainment, sports, and network of it all. We have the football team that provides the sports side of things, and we provide the entertainment of it. And we're a network together that provides the atmosphere for a crowd that comes in as we represent the school and the community. So everything that we do, music-wise, becomes just an add-on to what happens with the football team, as well as trying to be as helpful as we can to distract the opponent with our music and be as loud as we can to disrupt anything that they might try to bring in as a strategy to beat our team. So far, it's been pretty effective with this band.
It's what I guess I can say exciting, electric. You know, when the football team get hype and everything, the band get hype, it's everybody, the crowd, everybody. It's like electrifying.
Directing the band and leading them towards greatness and success, it gets your blood flowing, man. It gets you pumping. It gets you real pumped. It gets me pumped.
Just the atmosphere is just great because every once in a while, one person will just jokingly start a cheer. Next thing you know, the whole band, all 100 of us, is chanting that cheer at the top of our lungs, and it definitely influences our players because we can see it in the players and how they play. We can see them moving around, we can see them getting into the songs or the cheers, and we can tell that we make an impact on the game. And if we weren't there making the game, we probably wouldn't be as good as we are.
It's a great feeling. I love it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else doing it. I'd rather be on that field or performing. It's a great feeling. I don't have a word to describe it.
So we warm up and then we march in, and that's like amazing because everybody's looking at you like, ooh, what's that, who's that? And you're like, yeah, it's me. And then we get up and we do pregame, and the crowd gets into it, and it's just fun. And then we play the fight song when the football team comes out, and that's pretty fun, it's pretty great. And then all of game day is just a ball.
I'll tell you, even coming out of band camp 2 weeks before school started, I was saying, this is going to be a great year. This is going to be a great year. And I was telling the kids that. And about the second week, I stopped saying that and I said, this is already a great year. This is already a great year. Because the kids are responding so well. The students do a great job. They work hard. They're having a good time. You know, it's just a real positive spirit with the guys working together on the field, off the field, you know, just in the band hall hanging out there laughing and cutting up. When we go on trips, things of that nature. So though it is early in the season, we really have grown as far as just the camaraderie in the band and how they get along. And that was, part of that was by design. Even in band camp, we'd work hard all day, and I thought, you know, we need to have some fun. And so at night we do some crazy games. You know, we just play some crazy games and divide them up into sections, and they could compete against each other. And they loved it, and they got to know each other, and they got to have fun together, not just work together. So that was a blast. Kids love that.